Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And this morning, I need you to rewind before you run it back. Rewind before you run it back and run forward. In other words, let's see how you connect this time of the year to where we're going in the future, in next year. I know you're in a hurry, but I'm sticking with that whole thing about ponder. I started that on yesterday. This whole thing. Actually, I started it on Sunday with the sermon, and I can't let it go. I just can't turn it loose right now. I'm still dealing with that, and so to that end, that's the impartation on this morning. That is with respect. Let's see what it means to be connected. Let's see what it means to run the credits from last year. How about that? Run the credits from last year, connect them where we're going this year. How about that? I got to greet some folk on this morning. What a wonderful morning it is. So good to see everybody on this morning. Gerald, how are you on this morning? It's good to see you. Elder Jan, how are you? Deborah, how are you on this morning? Ari, how are you on this morning? Anna, how are you? Good morning, Patrice. How are you on this morning? I missed you Sunday. If you were there, I missed it. My bad. But nevertheless, good morning, Brenda. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Elder Mobley. How are you? Verena, how are you doing on this morning? We're coming to the end of the year. What is today? Today is the 30th of December. One more day left, and then it's all about the new year. But before you rewind, how about you just look at where you've been and try to figure out where you're going and connect the dots. Started that conversation on yesterday, and I still want to continue to along the same line as I was on yesterday, as well as Sunday. Good morning, Michael Harris. How are you on this morning? Pamela, how are you on this morning? Dan, the man, is in the house. How are you on this morning? Patrice says she was at church. I just missed her. Okay, all right, I accept that. Vaughn, how are you on this morning? Ramona, what in the world is the deal here? You're always number one. Kind of, what are we getting a little late here? What's going on? Jacqueline, how are you? Caroline, how are you on this morning? It's a great morning. Cynthia, how are you? Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed yourself at the Big D. Dallas team not doing too well, but other than that, what can you say? Deacon Joe, how are you doing, my brother? How is everything down there in San Antonio? This morning, we're still dealing with this whole thing that from the text from Mary. I brought this whole thing up on Sunday. I can't let it go. That whole word of symbala, has to do with pondering, and it has to do with pulling things together. When you think about pondering, that's not what you really think about, but that's really what the Greek word that is used there to bring together, to connect the dots, to compare, to interpret meaning by assembling pieces like a logo, like the logo over my shoulder with Kappa Alpha Psi, like the logo, those kinds of pieces. Let me greet some more folk, and then we're going to get into the word on this morning. Good morning, Vicky. How are you? Caroline, how are you? Now, I'm going to need you all to share this manner right now. Some of y'all you be on the struggle bus. Just, I don't know why you won't share it. But anyhow, Vicky, how are you on this morning? Got a word for all of you on this morning, and we're still dealing with that whole piece because it's so meaningful right now. We're at the end of the year. And so let's get with it.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Manna, where in 5 minutes or less, you're going to get an impartation with the text, the talk, and the takeaway. Join the Morning Manna fam every weekday morning at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't forget to put in the chat the revelation that you get and share the manna. Now, let's get ready to have some manna so you can make it through your day.
Connected. Before you run forward, rewind. Before you run forward, let's rewind. The text is what we had on Sunday as well as yesterday. Still the same. Luke 2:19, the NIV translation. Listen closely. But Mary treasured all these things and pondered them in her heart. I'll say it again. I'll repeat it. I want to bring everybody up to date. That whole word ponder means in the Greek symbello, logo, a symbol that brings everything together, connecting to the dots, comparing, interpreting the meaning of assembling all of the pieces. What do they mean? So then let's look at that with respect to our year. Mary had just experienced a season of being overwhelmed. How many of you dealt with being overwhelmed at some moments in 25? But not only that, she had a miraculous birth. How many of you have had things birthing in your life that was just awesome? But not only that, there's shepherds all around. We're not at the Magi yet because we're not at the house. We're at the shed against the cave, as the scripture gives description. There's all of these things that are happening. So there's no question that she is saying, Symbella, ponder. Now, I want you to ponder these past months, weeks, days. What do you come up with? There's three things I want you to do before we can move forward into 26. One, collect. Collect the moments. Don't speed past what God did and is doing. Gather the highlights and even the hard points and the hard places. I enjoy this. Last night I was watching the game, and then the game ended up watching me. And I did not realize who won actually until this morning. And First Lady said, "Oh, this person won." I said, "How did you know?" She said, "Oh, I saw it." How did you see it? Well, anyhow, the fact is that I was looking at the highlights. She was looking at the game. How about the highlights in your life in 25 and the whole game? You're still winning. Second thing I want you to get, connect the meaning. Connect the meaning. Ask the Lord, what thread runs through this year? God, help me to put together how you were operating in my life. Not just pop ups, but Lord, show me so that I might be able to have a better understanding of where you're taking me in 26. Collect, connect. Here's the third thing, carry the message. Carry the message. As you get ready to run through the wire of the 31st of this month tomorrow and run into 26, make sure that you carry the message from 25. How I made it over. How I made it over. The place that I began to believe. The area in which God really grabbed a hold of me. And I made it through it. So, what's your takeaway this morning? Before you shout about 26, interpret 25. Before you shout about 26, interpret 25. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you. Give you peace. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna, New Year's Eve. Gonna have a word for you as well. God bless you. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself.